Straight off the bat, some information. I have been tested positively for coronavirus. And surprisingly, I'm feeling pretty well. I don't have any symptoms, so it just means I'm carrying the virus in my body. And so I wanted to let you all know, stay safe and keep your distance and all that. I just wanted that out there. Maybe if I sound off, you know what's going on. So recently we have been talking about doing what you like, and the current state of YouTube and all those topics. And with that, also something interesting, recently I've been streaming a lot. I've been doing live streams on twitch.tv/thestressball. Please come check it out. I've been playing Minecraft hardcore mode. I've been dying in some really dumb ways. Some of you guys were there and it was fucking funny. Alright, we're gonna react to the comments under the video called Doing What You Liked. Doing What You Like. In which I talked about topics as cringe, what other people think of you, and basically that whenever you do something that you like to do, you're going to run into other people that think that the thing that you are doing is weird or stupid. And so how do we navigate that? How do we deal with that? And the truth is, I don't know, right? Well, I have my own ways to deal with it and my own ways to handle it. Meaning that whenever I've basically learned that if people tell me that being a YouTuber is fucking stupid, I think to myself, that's just not for them then. And then they are not the person for me. Problem solved. Took me a while to get there, but it's an interesting conversation to have with you guys. So, first of all, before we get into Mr. Larry's comment, which is a pretty long comment about the state of YouTube right now, which I haven't read yet, I wanted to get into Tata's comment about cringe. And he says, or she, I don't know. I usually assume that most of you are guys, so I'll keep doing that. On the internet, I suppose that works best. But Tata says, I just watched the video and he said, oh, I really hate it when people say cringe. It's like saying what I do is cool, what you do is embarrassing and stupid. Also, you can't measure cringe. And sometimes the guy who says cringe doesn't even feel it. Yeah, fair. By the way, I think too much consciousness of my power as a person could lead to self-destruction. Once I was really proud of what I was doing and who I was, and I became an absolute asshole. Now I always stop when I feel enthusiastic about something, but I really shouldn't. Oh, that's an interesting mechanic. Let me read that again. So you're basically saying You became an asshole? Oh. Once you were really proud of what you were doing and who you were, and you became an asshole. Now I always stop when I feel enthusiastic about something, but I really shouldn't. Of course not. Why would you stop when you're enthusiastic? And that's something I see so many times. Especially with these things like people playing Fortnite, people making videos on TikTok, people playing Minecraft. I think these are basically the things that I can name that fall under the term cringe the most. Or at least that's where I've heard it from the creators I watch or the circles I've been involved in on the internet. I don't know, maybe stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's. In general, things that are associated with younger audiences. But as like, if you're like a 20-something-year-old and you play Fortnite, you get considered cringe. To be fair, if you do something that mostly, like, yeah. For example, if you play Minecraft, and people think that Minecraft is a kid's game, which it partly is, I can understand where that idea comes from. But if it makes you enthusiastic, who gives a shit? Well, that's basically the topic we talked about last time. Anyway, so. And then he ends it off by saying, by the way, great video, Rick. Well, Tata, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. Short comment by Oh, this is where we learn the pronunciation of Matthias. It's actually Muchas. Muchas. He's Estonian. But I can feel free to call him Enderboy, so that's what I'll do. Alright. On to Mr. Larry's comment. Let's read it. I need some water. I hope my throat's gonna hold up. I think it's fine. So, I watched both of your 2 recent videos, start to finish. And I think you get it exactly right on the state of YouTube and content creation right now. I remember in the early 2010s you could make pretty much whatever you wanted and people who are interested would find your videos one way or another rather than having to rely on the YouTube algorithm to recommend your videos. Now it's just a roll of the dice if YouTube likes your video or not. Excuse me. Which will make or break the performance of the video. Or the performance of an entire channel for that matter. I think this is why there is so much negativity going around too. The YouTube homepage shoves into people's faces content they don't like and never asked for. I've seen that happen to me. Where you're on the homepage and it's either stuff you've already watched and things that are very closely related to that, or it is things that have nothing to do with what you care about at all. But these days I rarely get any recommendations that make me go, oh wow, that is interesting, I like that. It's as if back in the days you could find those gold mines, you know? Those channels when you were like, oh, let's watch this one video, and then you dive into it, and then you find an entire channel, and it's like, holy shit, there's so much cool stuff going on this channel. These days, it feels like that is more rare than back in the day. I wonder if that is because I've been around on YouTube for like 10 years and found all of the channels that I'm interested in, or if the channels that I like are hidden somewhere. Surely it's the second one. With YouTube, there is no end to the amount of entertainment that you can find, so surely it has to be the second one. Let me just double check if I actually clicked record. That would be silly. It's been 8 minutes. What if I didn't do that? I clicked record. So, then he goes on. It's becoming nothing but a game of what YouTube wants, and what YouTube wants is an unrealistic approach to content creation, which is non-stop, frequent, constant uploads of the same thing. That seems to be about right. I think this is why we see the same few content creators over and over again, and why content feels so still and predictable. Because YouTube deems it safe. All this is why you left YouTube years ago. They don't seem to like content about Happy Wheels. I'm not sure if that is true, because I especially remember those clickbaity thumbnails. I think Quabblecop made a few of them that really did well. I mean, Happy Wheels took my channel off the ground as well. So there seems to be... I think your point about consistency with YouTube is definitely a thing, though. Definitely. Yeah. I've noticed it too on my channel, where being consistent will eventually snowball into... Because and it makes sense. You make something, and then with that you make a promise to come back every... whatever you pick. Maybe it's every week. So then people are going to be like, oh, next week this person is going to upload this. And then they come back to your channel because they look forward to the thing you're going to post. It's not necessarily on YouTube that consistency works well. It's a basic psychological thing that if you like something and you know where to find it and when to find it, you're gonna look for it. I don't think that is on YouTube. What I do think YouTube is doing, and what you said as well, is that they want... What did you say? Non-stop, frequent, consistent uploads of the same thing. That's what they really reward, the same thing. It seems to be that way, to me. Yeah. Look at Dream. Again, Dream is a great example of this. Look at his Manhunt series. But is that really true, though? Because on the other hand, you do have creators. If I look at the Sidemen, for example, they do different... Yeah, but they still do challenges. I was gonna say they do different types of challenges. I don't know. I think there's something for both. I think the YouTube algorithm could definitely be improved, because it should slightly focus on having more related videos to what you're watching. So not more of the same, but things that are slightly similar. I think that's what's going wrong right now. I see so many Sidemen videos. Sidemen are a channel, by the way, from the UK that make mostly... What are they related to? Gaming, soccer, that kind of stuff. And there's a bunch of other YouTubers like, I don't know, Calux, Call Freezy, those kind of guys. I never get anything recommended from them. It's always only Sidemen. Steven Tries, never see it in my recommendations. It's all... We could give some other examples. I will immediately get a Dream video in my recommendations, but George Not Found. I'll never see that in my sub box. Or sub box in my recommendations. And that's interesting. And I think that there's a lot of channels out there that deserve to be recommended by the algorithm instead of just found by people. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. I'm so glad you keep making content, Stress. Keep it up. Oh man, I appreciate it. That's very sweet. Thank you. You guys are way too nice. I'm just doing my thing. I'm just having fun here. Having people like you encourage me to make this content is really what keeps me going. Because if I would make these videos and at the end of the day I would find 0 comments on my channel, it would just be like talking to my closet or something, or talking to Patrick in the back there. And now I actually get to see that people watch and input some interesting thoughts, and it's great. It's really great. Something starts to happen. It's like you're chilling with your friends or something. It's like you're making something more interesting because there's interaction. I love that shit. Okay, we're gonna do one more comment because Salty left a comment on one of my earlier videos. I feel like your thought. I feel like rambling a little bit today. This is nice. This is just a little talking. Sorry about that. Okay. My first one was being yourself as a content creator. And Salty replied to this. It's a long ass comment and we're gonna read it. So Salty says, I've been struggling a lot with the algorithm too. But one thing I've been thinking about is the first hurdle you need to overcome when you have a YouTube channel. Endless videos of the same quality with no real price. You need to get people interested into your videos to a point they click play. Once they click it and like it, they go back into the catalog and uncover a goldmine. This is what we just talked about, and I've already read this comment, so this is no coincidence, but I still wanted to read it because Salty's thoughts on this are really interesting. Usually when I talk about these things, I take the approach of the algorithm, but Salty kind of gave it a spin. Here, this example that he gives is really cool. It's a line from a documentary about Jenna Marbles that has been stuck in my head for the longest time. Once they got interested into that famous video, they started uncovering more of her content that nobody has ever seen. This is what boosts your channel. You literally just make stuff and hope one pulls through. You literally say, fuck it. And that is so cool. The whole idea of you never know when your channel is gonna take off. And I think that if you would do YouTube just to take off, you wouldn't make it. Because in the current state that my channel was in, objectively, it's doing pretty shitty. It was at 4K, it's now under 4K. It's like 3.8. I don't watch it as closely anymore. 3.83. I like it when it goes up, but I don't mind anymore when it goes down. And what I've discovered is that you go through different phases. Some phases are more fun than the others. And back in the day, especially when my channel would go down, I would try as hard as I could to pump out series about this and that would be consistent. And oh, let's start with this and make it consistent. And let's start with that and make it consistent. If you don't know what to do, if you don't know what to upload, and if you don't know how to make your channel take off, that's because making a channel take off, it's not a thing, right? It's the same as making making a tree grow.